Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marla. I am a registered holistic nutritionist and homeopath. And today I want to explain in a little more detail how often you should be doing a pathogen cleanse. So a candida, a parasite, a bacterial cleanse for the colon. I have made a lot of videos. You can just search Happy Holistic Life parasites or Happy Holistic Life Candida, and you will find so many videos on the cleanses that I recommend, how to do them, all of that good stuff. But today I'm just wanting to go over how often one should be done, because the impression that a lot of people have is that it's a one and done thing, and that's not the case at all. So just like you would be getting an oil change in your car yearly, or for some people twice a year, or you will rust proof your car every year, or vacuum your home every week, or clean your bathroom every week, the body is the same. Everything in life requires maintenance, and our body is no different. In fact, if anything is to require maintenance, it's our body, more importantly than anything else, because of how much wear and tear it goes through to keep us functioning and keep us in optimal health. So before I go into all of the information, I do have a ready to go seasonal candida and parasite cleanse ebook. I will link down below, and it guides you through how to do the cleanse, what supplements to take, what to eat, how long to do it for, all of that information, and it's all in that book start to finish. I think it's an awesome resource, and so many of my followers and clients have been following it and really love it. And what's unique about my program that I haven't seen anywhere else is that I include liver and kidney drainage. This is important whether you're doing a candida and parasite cleanse or a bacterial cleanse or any other type of pathogen. You want to make sure you have support for the liver and the kidneys. So I'm going to walk you through everything that you will need to know in terms of how often to do the cleanse, what to take with it, and things like that. But I do have that cleanse. I would love for you guys to check it out. I will link it down below for you. So a seasonal cleanse, in my opinion, should be done depending on the person, and I'll break it down a little more for you, but depending on the person, anywhere from anywhere from 2 to 3 times a year up to 6 times a year. So how do you know what you need to do? Well, for starters, if you've never done a pathogen cleanse, if you've never done any type of natural antifungal type of cleanse, you might want to start off by doing a really good one. So if you've never done one before, if you have digestive issues, skin issues, major mood imbalances, difficulty with sleeping, anything like that, bad breath, body odor, it might be a good idea for you to do one. So if you've never done one, when you are initially starting it, for example, say you use my program, you want to do it for at least 60 to 90 days. 90 days is ideal because if you have any parasites, they go through a 90-day life cycle between larvae, eggs, adult phase, and you want to get all of the stages so that there's no new hatching, as gross as that may sound. So if like I said, if you've never done a cleanse, start off with a good solid 90-day cleanse, or longer if you need it longer. A lot of my clients are on antifungals for more than half a year because of how severe their dysbiosis is. So everyone is different. You can always start with 90 days, and if you feel like you need longer, extend it longer, or work with a practitioner to help guide you through it. After you've done the main cleanse, this is where maintenance is required. So you don't have to go and back into that rigorous cleanse every couple months. That's not it. Once you do a good one once, you're good. You just want to maintain from there. So just like, if you buy a house and it is disgusting inside, you bought a house for a cheap price and there's garbage everywhere, walls are junk, you need to clean everything out, fix the plumbing, blah, blah, blah. Once you actually do that, you don't have to go re-renovate and gut the house every single time you want to make it look nice, right? No, you do it once, it's nice, and then you just maintain by cleaning it and making sure everything's running well in the house. So that's what we want to be doing with our gut. So once you've done a good cleanse, you want to wait a couple months. So say you finished off your cleanse, you're feeling good. This is where you decide if you want to do the cleanse seasonally, so say spring, summer, fall, and winter, or summer and winter, or maybe you want to do it more often than that. The people who should be doing it more often than just a couple times a year are those who have immune imbalance. So people who have an imbalance, like an autoimmune disorder, where there's an imbalance with the Th1 and Th2 and Th17 immune cells. So autoimmune disorder, somebody with recurring skin condition like eczema or hives or things like that. People with recurring digestive issues. So if you have IBS or IBD or SIBO and you are, feeling much better, your flares have calmed down, you're not flaring as much. In order to stay there, you want to be doing these cleanses more often because you are prone to gut imbalances. So autoimmune, skin conditions, gut issues, these are the people who really should be doing it frequently. So I would say, I'll tell you what I do at the end, but I would say minimum 4 times a year. You want to do a maintenance cleanse, which are not complicated and they're pretty easy, and I'll explain how we do that. So if you are, just looking to stay healthy and you don't have these types of recurring conditions, you can probably get away with doing it anywhere from 2 to 3 times a year. So it just really depends on the person. What I have found over many, many years in my practice and working with hundreds and hundreds of clients is that typically most people end up going really strict with their diet during their healing journey and they're taking all the supplements. Once they're feeling great and they start to just kind of go back to normal life, so they're not as strict with their diet. Starch consumption tends to build up, right? You start to naturally introduce more starches to your diet again. You're eating more fruit again. You're not as strict as you would be during a candida cleanse. And as you start to increase your starches, a lot of times, if the starch consumption is too high for too long, it can lead to overgrowth really quickly. So depending on what condition you have, how you're eating, and how stressed you are, as stress does affect the gut and what pathogens will grow, those are all determinants of how often you should be doing a seasonal cleanse. But at the very least, 2 times a year, summer and winter, or spring and fall, something like that. Okay, so what does the seasonal cleanse entail? If you've never done a cleanse before, you want to follow my ebook to a T in the description box below, as long as you get the okay from your doctor or practitioner. Do it for 90 days or more if you need to. But at that point, once you've done the cleanse once, the seasonal cleansing is super, super easy. So the seasonal cleansing is everything you would have done in the ebook below, minus the liver drainage. So you can do the liver support, but you don't need to take the liver drainage necessarily. So it's really easy because all you really have to do is an antifungal. My top choice would be black walnut, as it does work on a lot of different types of pathogens within the system. So if you don't know what you have, if you don't know if you have candida, or you don't know if you have parasites or mold or viruses or bacteria, and you're just like, I kind of want to target everything because I don't know what I have, I find black walnut to be a top choice, in my opinion, as long as you don't have any allergies or sensitivities to it. So black walnut you can take. You want to add in a binder. You always need a binder, so something like a chlorella powder or something like that. Not a bentonite clay or a charcoal, because these also kill parasites, which can create too much of a detox at once. So not necessarily those type of binders, but something like chlorella powder would be my top choice. Just make sure it's organic and has been tested for heavy metals and contaminants. So just make sure you're choosing a brand that does not have any contaminants. My top choice would be Genestra Chlorgen, and then from there it would be organic has chlorella. Okay, so a binder like chlorella, antifungal like black walnut. You could add in another antifungal if you wanted to, like a caprylic acid or clove, or something like that, and that would also work well with the black walnut. So black walnut antifungal, you have your binders. You also want an antiviral. I love N-acetylcysteine. It works really well for most people. If you're not sure if you should be on it, you can always check with your doctor or practitioner. But it is a great supplement because it helps support the liver. It helps kill any viruses that are coming out. And it also helps with supporting your skin and things like that. So it is a nice supplement to take. With that, it's always a good idea to do a probiotic as well. So you want to add a probiotic in. So all of those instructions are in my ebook down below. You want to follow the ebook guide to a T for your seasonal cleanses. The only difference is you'll be taking out the liver drainage remedy that's included in there for seasonal cleanses. For the first time around, you want to do the drainage. For seasonal, you can remove it. The next question is, or question I know you guys will ask is, so how long do we do a seasonal cleanse for? It depends. If you don't have your symptoms recurring, so if you've cleared your skin or you've fixed your IBS and you're still in remission and you're feeling good, you can probably just do 2 to 3 weeks max. You don't need to change your diet too much during this time, which is really nice. So you can still kind of eat the same way, lower your starches by a little bit, but you don't need to go carb free, you don't need to go keto, because you're just maintaining. The antifungals are strong enough that they will help to kill what's there before it gets out of control again. The only time you have to really cut out carbs and really get intense is when your gut is so out of control that the only way to fix it is to just remove all sources of starch and everything like that. But when it's just a little bit of growth, antifungals and probiotics and things like that will take care of it, and just cut your starches back a bit. So how do we cut our starches back? My suggestion would be stay away from the really sugary, starchy carbs. So sugars like cane sugar, honey, maple syrup. You also want to avoid your sugary fruit. So no banana, no watermelon. Stick to, if you're going to do fruit, stick to things like berries, pears, green apples, grapefruit, more of the sour, less sugary fruit. If you need a sweetener, use stevia or yacon syrup. Instead of doing rice or potatoes, which are super starchy, or pasta, go for quinoa or buckwheat or millet. Instead of doing kidney beans and black beans, which are really starchy beans, do lentils or mung beans, which are higher in fiber. Instead of doing sweet potato or regular potato, do squash. So you're just choosing the carbs and starches that are much higher in fiber, so they're not going to be feeding pathogens as much. And just do that for a couple weeks with the antifungals and the binder and the probiotics and all of that, and you are good to go. If you do this every season or a couple times a year, you should be able to, depending on other factors, you should be able to keep your health conditions at bay or in remission. People who are clearing their skin or fixing their IBS and then after a few months start flaring up again, those are the individuals whose gut most likely has gotten out of control again, because pathogens increase inflammatory cytokines, mainly interleukin 6, which creates a lot of inflammation. They also produce a lot of histamine, which creates inflammation as well. So typically, if somebody wants to keep their skin conditions really calm or their gut issues really calm, you just need to do these seasonal cleanses before they get out of control again. So if you're feeling like you're flaring up a lot, there's probably something that's gotten out of control, and you'll have to do a little bit more of a rigorous cleanse at that point. So don't let your body get to that point, where it's out of control. Get to the issues earlier on. Again, if you sit on your couch and you're like, I'm not going to clean my house for a couple weeks, it's going to be a ton more work to then clean your house a few weeks down the line than if you had just cleaned it every couple days or once a week. So you want to maintain your body the same way. The sooner you do the cleanses, the more often you do the cleanses, the more you take care of your body and your gut, the cleaner your body will be and the less flares and health issues you should have. Now, pathogens are not the only thing that will make you flare, so I do want to just put that in there as a disclaimer. If you have high levels of stress or really bad sleep or something else, that could be triggering your IBS flares or your skin condition. So obviously it's not just pathogens, but for most people who are leading a standard life, most of the time, if you end up flaring after a while, it's something to do with an imbalance in the gut. That's always a place to start. If after you do your seasonal cleanse and you've done it for a couple weeks and you still have some persistent health flare-ups, you can continue the cleanse longer. But if after a month or two there's no change in your symptoms, then you want to look elsewhere as well. So you say, okay, it wasn't just a gut issue. Maybe there's a sleep issue. Maybe there's a stress issue that needs to be addressed. Maybe I'm just not eating enough alkaline foods. Maybe I have a nutrient deficiency. So start turning your focus elsewhere, but always a starting point is a cleanse. So what do I do? Well, a couple years ago when I was full-blown flared up, if you look at my oldest videos on this channel, which I don't recommend because to me they're so embarrassing, but I had really bad skin, was really awkward with a camera. But anyway, if you look at my older videos, you'll see how my skin was then versus now. So a few years ago when I was in the trenches of inflammation and of all my autoimmune disorders, I did a candida cleanse, or it was like a multi-pathogen cleanse. We say candida as an umbrella term, but really it was for parasites, yeast, fungus, mold, viruses, etc. So I did a good cleanse. It was not a seasonal, it was a full-on cleanse, and I did it for 1 year. I had so much overgrowth from all of my childhood, teen years, and early 20s that a couple months was not going to cut it for me. I had to do a long cleanse. I was working with a practitioner at the time who was doing the muscle testing with me and stuff, and she was like, nope, you're not cleared yet, you're not cleared yet. You know you're clearing your pathogens when your skin or whatever health condition you have starts to recede. When you start to see really good improvements, you know you finally have broken through. And it took me a year to really clear all of the yeast and the mold and the parasites and everything else that was in my gut. So I did a solid cleanse. At that point, I was like, there is no going back. So from there, I've been doing really consistently every other month, a little mini cleanse. I don't really change my diet too much, but I do take black walnut. I take some antivirals, some probiotics, just to keep things in balance. So for me, I do every other month, I'll do it for 2 weeks. That's what works for me. You'll have to play around with it and see what works for you. Every season, so 4 times a year might not be enough for you, so you might want to do a little more often than that. Or it might be a lot for you and you might need to do less. So play around with it. But the nice thing about a seasonal cleanse is that it does not have to be intense like the initial cleanse. You do the hard work once, and then if you maintain and just do a little bit of work here and there, you don't have to do the hard work ever again. So maintain, it's so worth it. It's so much easier than having to go back and do a solid cleanse after a while. So again, you'll have to kind of play around with it, but a couple weeks, every month or 2 or 3 should be sufficient to kind of keep things in balance, as long as you have not let your diet go out of control. So that's about it. That's what I wanted to share with you today. But at the end of the day, for all of you asking me, do I need to do a cleanse again if I've done one before? The answer is yes, maintain. Just like everything in life, things will fall apart. There's wear and tear. You have to take care of everything, including your body. So put the work in, it's so worth it. And that's how I've managed to keep my skin cleared. So again, if you guys have been following me for a long time, or if you follow me on Instagram, I have posted what my skin used to look like. And it was head to toe, red, rashes, psoriasis, brutal skin, and horrible IBS flares continuously for years throughout the day. And I went from that to no IBS flares, no psoriasis. I feel great. My skin is cleared. And the way that I keep that in balance and prevent my skin from flaring or my gut from flaring is making sure pathogens in my gut do not get out of control. And because I have so many autoimmune, I'm prone to dysbiosis because my immune system is out of balance. So because I know that, I am one of those people that has to really be careful with my overgrowth. It's something you battle the rest of your life, but I don't put much work in now because I did the hard work once. I'm maintaining, so it's a little bit of easy maintenance here and there. I hope that this helps. I'm sorry the video was so long, but I wanted it to be educational for you. If you have any questions, post them in the comments down below, and I will try to get back to everyone. I hope you have an awesome day, an awesome rest of your week, and an awesome new year, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.